Today I'm going to help you with your motivation. I have 5 tips and a hack to get you out of the door. Whether you want to set a goal in running or any other sport, and you have a busy life, a bit like me, you have your ups and downs in motivation, let's dive into it. In the third tip, I even have a little hack. So stay tuned and let's get going. 10 years ago, I ran the Istanbul Marathon, and that made me really, really proud. I wanted to do it on an average speed, so I wanted to do it below the 4 hours, just below that. And usually when I reach my goals, I lose motivation. I did other sports for around 10 years, a lot of other different hobbies, but this year it started itching again. So I need to find new motivation to do it. First thing is what I did is now I set a goal for October next year to do the full marathon of Lisbon. And that might seem far away, but that is actually my first big tip. Take things slow, take your time, and do it easily. So the mistake I made the first time I did a marathon that I rushed into it really, really fast. I didn't do enough volume, I didn't do enough training, and I overdid it. And in the end, the marathon became a really painful thing. So I enjoyed the whole training and the whole build up towards that. But the marathon itself was really, really painful because I only trained up to like 30 kilometers, and that might seem enough. And some people say that it's enough, but if you do that in 3 months or 4 months' time, I can tell you it's way, way too fast. So my first tip is take things slow and honor the 10% rule. And by 10%, I mean, and you can apply this, I think, in every sport, that you need to build up gradually over time, but don't do it more than 10% at the time. So if you, for example, do a long run on Sunday in week 6, and that might be 12 kilometers, then 1 week or 2 weeks later, don't do more than 14 kilometers. Don't rush into the 16-kilometer range, but just honor that 10% rule and add 10% every single time. The second tip is an open door, but I am gonna say it. Find your why. Why are you doing this? I want to be functional fit for as long as possible. I have a son, Jack, he's 6 years old, and I want to be outdoors with him. I want to be mountain biking, playing soccer, running. I want to be able to be active with him. It makes me easier lifting him up, bringing him to bed. Everything becomes better. So for me, that is a really, really important factor why I'm doing sports in the first place, and also why I'm running and setting a goal again. But for other people, that might be a good physique, losing weight, doesn't really matter. But really, trust me, find your why. Okay, so the third tip is don't give up after the first couple of runs. I know from experience when I started this year again, I run between 6 and 8 kilometers at a pace of 6 minutes and 10 seconds or something. So pretty average, but my heart rate was in zone 3 or 4 and it felt so heavy. I felt heavy, I thought it might have been my weight or that I was just very out of condition. But I know that running takes some time to start enjoying it again. And every runner on the planet knows this. Everybody has an own, I think, time schedule when they get to that point from scratch. But for me personally, it's somewhere between 1 and 3 months when I start enjoying running again. And that all has to do that after these 3 months, I'll be able to run in that zone 2 again. And the whole internet is talking about zone 2. When I did it 10 years ago, I instinctively also trained a lot in zone 2 because you can just do a lot of volume and you can recover really quickly from it. So it's really, really important to be able to do that and enjoy it. And the bonus there is that after that time, after these 3 months, you're also gonna experience the first runner's high. Some people already have it in the beginning, but that also comes for me a little bit later in the process. And as weird as it sounds, from that point on, the running becomes addictive. See it as learning how to drink a cup of coffee. When I was younger, I started with a lot of sugar and a lot of milk in my coffee and also my tea. And it took me quite a while before I started to enjoy a real black coffee and an espresso. Um, I don't know where in the process that changed, but somehow it changed over time and I didn't need any motivation for it. That's the same with running. If you just keep doing it and you don't like doing it in the beginning, and I'm sorry there, I don't have sugar and milk for you with the running in the beginning, but it keeps getting better. And now the hack comes in. I can cheer it up a little bit, and that might change for you as well. So, what I do in the beginning, the first 1 to 3 months, I don't stick to a running schedule. What I do, I just make it playful and change it up with other aerobic sports. So, I'm going to do boxing, mountain biking, um, whatever you want to do, swimming. But yeah, as long as you just run, let's say once a week, you build up an aerobic base and you build up the capacity to run in that zone too, where it really becomes fun. So please believe me if I say stick to it and it will get better and it is for everyone. If you make it to the video up to here, you are an absolute legend. As you can see, this is a new channel, so it will really help me if you subscribe and leave a like and maybe comment down below what you want to hear in the next video. But at least you're one of the first people and the OGs on the channel. So if this ever blows up, you can say you were here first. Tip number 4 is strive for progression and not perfection. I let that sink in. You can spend hours and hours tracking every single data point, searching the internet for information, and do whatever you can to perfect everything. And there is a lot of data available. But if you just want to enjoy the progress and enjoy the process, stop worrying about it. It's one of my pitfalls as well. But if I remember correctly, 10 years ago, I also did the full marathon and I didn't have any data available. Nowadays, I have a Garmin, and I also made the mistake to get caught up into it. But in the end, what happens then is that from wanting to run, enjoying it, and make it fun, you go to must run because your graph is going down or your data is saying it or even your Garmin is telling you nowadays. So I highly suggest to start running based on how you feel. And I want to show that also by zooming out on this data graph that I have right here on Strava. So if you zoom in, you basically can see that now currently I might be go down. But if I zoom out, then you can see that there is progress on the long line. And as soon as you want to pick up again and you feel great again and you had recovered enough, then the line will go up. And then it's all about showing up and making progression. So I do highly recommend that you increase the volume over time, so the 10% rule, but also allow yourself to rest a little bit. Also allow yourself for some downtime when you're, for example, on a holiday. But please do, because it's really, really important to let your body recover sometimes and get back even stronger. Just like a pit stop in Formula One. You need to stop to make it better and be faster again with new tires. A hack over there is that if you get demotivated because you're doing a lot of running, for example, also then it's really possible to just mix it up for a little while with, for example, boxing or mountain biking or whatever you like to do. There's no harm in that. You won't fall down a lot. The fifth and final tip is make running a priority for the first 12 weeks. After that, it becomes a habit and it coexists with all the other responsibilities you have in life. The first common reaction we mostly get is that they're too busy to find time in their schedule to run. And that's true. I mean, everybody is busy. Everybody works 40 hours or has a family or friends. Um, but I can tell you, it is important to be a better version of yourself when you are with your family and friends. So in the beginning, yes, you sacrifice some of the times being with your family and friends. Doing that, the family and friends get a better version of your back when you invest 3 or 4 hours per week doing any sports because you sleep better, you have more energy, you are more active. So everybody is benefiting from it. So if you make it a habit, it can perfectly coexist with your work, family, and friends. So that's it for my first ever YouTube video. I hope I motivated you to start running or set yourself a goal. Let me know what you want to hear more of, and I'll see you in the next video.